What up, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy P. Skip. Welcome to the best half hour of your entire Tuesday. You know what time it is. It's time to get into his course. My squad with me, T-Mac.
Hola.
Chili Will.
Gracias, amigo.
Let's do this. Romans 12:2 says this in the New Living Translation. Don't copy the behaviors and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect in His sight. The Bible also talks about for everything there is a season. And right now seems to be the season of transition and change in the sports arena. And I said, don't be transformed because there's so many people who think that they could just do things the way things have been done, when actually the world is changing, that you need to find your route to do whatever you're going to do, especially when it comes to your career as an athlete. Now, I said that to say Brittany Griner, WNBA star, Russian courts have extended her detention until it looks like until May 19th, that they're just extending her. And because she had they say a black suitcase full of weed oil. And my thing is this. Again, we talked about this last week. I guess it comes down to, is this Russia's way of kind of flicking their nose at America? Or is this Russia's way of saying, you can't transport that much out of here and think we ain't gonna get you for drug trafficking? Because they never said how much it was. They never said how much she had. All they said is, they said for drug trafficking. They didn't say, okay, well, it was a couple of ounces for your own self. I don't know how much she had. So what do you guys think about her being extended? And what I love is I have two former politicians on here that can kind of give us, the worldwide perspective. So we'll go with you, Mr. Wade, first.
Okay, well, a couple things here. The Brittany Griner, I don't heard from people who consume what they say that she has, and they say it's just like a vapor, kind of like the vapor cigarette type thing. It's cartridges or canisters of that you use for personal indulgence. So number one, she's not trying to distribute or make no big drug heist or do some street value to it. It was just for personal use. What bothers me about this whole thing is that Brittany Griner is not just a WNBA star, and she's not just an Olympic gold medalist. She has won championships in Russia for the Russian team that she plays on. So she's also done some things for their country, their government, their commerce, their capitalism, and they're treating her now. Of course, if she won championships in Russia, you had arenas filled with Russian people cheering, "Go Brittany, go." And now all of a sudden, she's on her own. She's by herself. I want to know why the people from the Russian league, the team that she plays on in Russia, the authorities or the management or the agents that she deal with on the Russian side of her business in Russia, how come they're not upset with this and saying, this is wrong? She's a victim. Y'all know she ain't trying to transport no drugs to the United States for profit. This is wrong, and you need to let this lady go home and do what she's gonna do and not make such a big mountain out of a little molehill. That's the part that's surprising me about it.
Tim.
Yeah, it does seem like it's a little bit of overkill, so to speak, with the Russian government. If, we know about things such as, hookah bars and, vapors and, now in many states in America, weed is legal. And so the criminal element of it seems to have been defanged, so to speak. And you see people, all on social media, it's like the cool thing to do, kind of like cigarettes were at one point in time in certain sectors of society. So it does seem like it is a bit heavy-handed for a drug of choice that certainly doesn't seem to be as harmful as a hallucinogen or a heroin or crack cocaine or something like that. Nonetheless, she's in another country and they get down how they get down. They're also in the midst of a war. And so you can expect that things could be a little bit different when your country is at war. I think that there are some things that can be extracted from this situation that can be a bit of a silver lining in this definite cloud that Brittany Griner is living through, though. I think one of the things is that now there is some certainty of what her fate, may be, or at least when she'll get a chance to have some sort of hearing or extradition back to the United States, possibly, which is what I'm sure she's probably hoping for. Number two, I think that because they put it off only until May, as opposed to November or December or sometime in 2023, which they could have done and been all the way fouler than what this situation seems to be already, is something that can give her some hope that, okay, I have a date certain when things can happen for me. So in a personal introspection piece, I'm pretty sure she might be in a corner somewhere, straight up praying, straight up trying to write anybody that she can, saying, hey, D-Day for me is May 19th. And I think the final thing is that sometimes you have different things that can be teachers for us. While experience is one of the best teachers, it's not necessarily the absolute best, as the Holy Spirit probably is the best. But from this, she will know now, hey, what my limits are as a champion, as Will talked about in general with Olympic gold medals, WNBA, as well as a so-called pseudo-celebrity here in Russia. I see the limits of my celebrity, of my popularity, of my accomplishments. It doesn't make me totally immune or give me impunity from anything. I still have to go ahead and handle my business. As a matter of fact, I might even be looking for another country to play in after this ordeal is behind me. So at least, if nothing else, her being in this situation, she now has some benchmarks, some road maps, some guideposts that she can look to as, okay, I will have my so-called day in court on XYZ day. And hopefully some of the pushback that has been received, some of the not so sweet press that Russia has received, and just quite frankly, some of the mercy that they may have had an opportunity to muster up from when I first got arrested to now, will have them saying whatever point they were trying to prove, they proved it. They can let me go. I've certainly learned my lesson and ain't going to be dabbling in nothing dealing with them no more, because I see now they play for keeps.
Yeah, I agree with both of y'all. I think the other thing is, from reports that I've read, her agent told her to get out of there like a week before that.
Mm-hmm.
And she stuck around.
Like other players' agents did.
Right. And she stuck around. And so, one, that's your fault. If I see that that this place is going to war, I don't care what my contract says, I'm out of there as soon as I can get out of there. Right. But you stuck around an extra week and then got caught up in this. Two, I think that there has to be an understanding that their judicial system is not like America's. So don't think your day in court is going to be actually your day. They're going to tell you what they're going to do to you. This ain't no you get a court of your peers get to vote on what your circumstances dictate. No, they're going to tell you, hey, you're going to do this time and you're going to do this. That's the way Russia is ran. So my personal thought is, if somebody tells me, and first of all, I see they're about to go to war, I'm leaving immediately the country that's getting ready to start a war. Leaving it. And my country don't like the fact that you're going to war, I'm surely, I don't care what clothes I have there. You can keep these clothes. I'm gone. Whatever my obligations are to y'all, I'm done because I need to get someplace where I know that I'm safe. And so part of this to me is you put yourself in harm's way by not taking heed to your agent who said, get out of there right away. So, but I do sympathize with her that, hey, I don't know if it dictates all this again. And who knows if there's going to be some trumped up other charges that's going to be on her as a result. And they're trying to make some, we don't know. But all this could have been avoided if you'd have left when you were told to leave. Again, changes. Speaking of changes, going to the National Football League, I don't know if y'all heard, but Deshaun Watson, that quarterback for the Texans who hasn't played for the last year, with multiple allegations of sexual misconduct, just signed with the Browns for a 5-year, $230 million guaranteed contract. Now, my question to y'all is, would they have signed if Baker Mayfield wouldn't have said, I wanted to be traded? And the fact that he came there has Baker Mayfield's value dropped. Because now they're looking at him like, you ain't even a starter anymore, bro. I think you like maybe a backup. And so what do you guys think about, first of all, the signing? And they signed him. And to me, I think they signed him knowing that he's going to be cleared of all this. Now, it doesn't mean that the NFL isn't going to fine him or penalize him. But I think the court system, I think they may find him free. Because NFL no team is going to invest that kind of money in something that's not guaranteed. So that's just my thought. We'll go with you first, Tim. Where are you with the situation?
Yeah, first of all, congratulations to Deshaun Watson being able to jumpstart his career. They tried to put him in purgatory in Houston, seemed to try to make an example out of him, and it was kind of coincidental, quote unquote, that those allegations came out right around the time he was talking about demanding a trade out of Houston. So there could have been some, persnicketyness going on with that situation. So with regards to the Browns, I think they made a major move, and Baker Mayfield kind of, wrote his own script there. I think that his riffs that he had with Odell Beckham Jr., which, were talked about before, were really, really problematic. I think that him not delivering on what he was supposed to and what he was selling wolf tickets about what he'd be able to do, having a very, very talented team, the Browns just kind of said, you know what? We took you as the number 1 overall pick in the draft a few years ago. We gave you the keys to the team, thought you could lead us to the promised land, and you didn't. And when OBJ left and went to the Rams, they, of course, won a Super Bowl this past year. He lost the locker room at that time. There were other players that were really, really ticked off at him for being a jerk about it. Now, Odell's dad was the one that kind of put that tape out there showing those times that he was wide open, he didn't get the ball, and there probably were some other things that were there. So the players who are closest to it were like, hey, man, you a buster, and we don't want to go ahead and play for you all. And I think that we don't want to play with you, and we're not going to give our all. We're not going to go to war with you because we believe you are a buster and a hook. The GMs and the executive leadership of the Browns saw that they had an all-pro quarterback in Deshaun Watson and said, you know what? Deshaun Watson is not one that is kind of have to tell us that he's, great. He's a bona fide all-pro, a multi-time Pro Bowl selection, won a championship when he was at Clemson. He has been a winner, and on the field, he makes players better, and players want to play with him. Now, the Browns have a vaunted attack. They have 2 rushers in, Kareem Rush and my man from Georgia, Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb, thank you, sir. Can run for 1,000 yards. And although they got rid of, Jarvis Landry and OBJ, they still have a pretty solid receiving core. And the defense with Myles Garrett ain't no joke. So they are going to be a very, very formidable team in the AFC, North Division. And it's going to be a very, very
and if I may add, they signed Cooper from the Dallas Cowboys.
Amari Cooper? Oh, man. Yeah. So They got a chance to make a Super Bowl run this year, provided Deshaun Watson can get on the field. They are a team that kind of underachieved a bit with Baker Mayfield at the helm, getting this all-pro bona fide cat who's going to come in with a chip on his shoulder with something to prove to. The Browns are going to be very, very dangerous. I'm happy for them all around. Organization did an excellent move. The risk of his civil suits and the NFL having some sort of possible penalty be darned. They said, we're going to go all in because we believe that we have a championship caliber squad and personnel with him running the show. And big ups to them for having enough guts to go after him. Big ups to him for keeping, sticking to his guns and saying, hey, man, I'm innocent until proven guilty. All this stuff has been frivolous against me thus far. And the criminal suits have been thrown out because the judges saw that to be frivolous and, unfounded. I'm thinking this civil suit stuff might follow suit as well. They look really, really good. And it seemed like that was a win-win for everybody involved except for Baker Mayfield. But if he was serious about him wanting out of Cleveland anyway, he got what he was looking for as well. So good riddance. And here's to new beginnings in Cleveland with Deshaun Watson running the show.
Yes, it's a lot of interesting perspectives on this. Deshaun Watson, is one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league for sure. We thinking it's 32 teams. If you're one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league, top 15, you better, shoot, top 16, you better than half of the league. So he's definitely that. I would say that Baker Mayfield is probably on the brink of that. He may not be in the top 16. So that's a come up. And a quarterback is a very important position. I think I was happy for Deshaun Watson, what happened in the criminal cases against him, because the criminal case came back and they didn't want to charge him anything criminal. Now he has the civil thing going on. And I think it's a couple of things that bode well with him in the civil case. Number one, if you like to be freaky with midgets or you need 4 girls at a time and all that, I don't think the NFL should be making you miss games because of that, because that's your own personal thing. He's not married. He's a single man. It's going to be a tough reach if they can't find anything that he did criminal in this situation, and they're going to find something that he did civil that is in violation of the NFL personal conduct rule. I think that's a stretch, but we'll see. I mean, you can't get mad. I mean, people, men like men, women like women. I mean, it's a whole lot of things that go on sexually that the NFL can't penalize you because you're not what they want you to be. So I think he's going to be okay there too. Baker Mayfield situation. Baker Mayfield got dealt a dirty hand from the beginning. Number one, Cleveland hasn't been a postseason team for 2 decades plus. So they brought him in and he delivered them to the playoffs. They even had a playoff win, if I recall correctly. He had a new coach every year that he played on Cleveland. Very unfair to him as far as developing or getting a system down packed. We look at
continuity.
I mean, we look at the Aaron Rodgers and the Russell Wilsons and the world. They was in a system. Now, of course, the GOAT is different. He walked in something new and was able to fit in. But I don't think Baker Mayfield, as a young quarterback coming from college to the NFL, was had the correct start. If he would have went to somewhere like New England, I think we'll be talking different about Baker Mayfield right now. So that's not his fault. Then last year, he delivered them to the playoff, had a playoff win, high hopes coming in for the next year, and then he played with injuries the whole year. So I don't know how I've been injured before. You guys have been injured before. You can't play at your same level when you have a nagging injury. So that, I think, was a part of Baker Mayfield's downfall. Baker Mayfield should be healthy this year. He had surgery. He has the chance to get on a new team and a new system and maybe show what his wares are. And I wish him the best. But on Baker Mayfield's best day, he's nowhere near as good as Deshaun Watson. Most are not. So from that standpoint and from an organizational standpoint, Cleveland really set themselves up and put themselves in a great position for the duration of Deshaun Watson contract and even further. They already have a top-notch defense. They have one of the top defenses in the league. And when you add that type of offense with the weapons that they have on offense, you add Amari Cooper to the mix and a Deshaun Watson. Let's just say I am very excited about the NFL season this year. It is going to be fireworks all across the board.
Quick question, then we'll move on. Who do you think is the better team now in Ohio? Cincinnati or Cleveland?
Cleveland.
How about you, Tim?
I have to second that notion. You know, what Cincinnati did this past year, notwithstanding, Cleveland just raised the stakes with those moves.
And then another thing with Cleveland, with Cincinnati, their big problem was protecting their quarterback and then keeping him upright. They have to address that first. And if they don't get the offensive people and the linemen that can block for him, he's subject to get hurt if he's going to be getting sacked 72 times in one season. So I think Cleveland is in a much better position moving forward. Now, Cincinnati, if they take care of the offensive line situation, they going to be sitting pretty also.
Yeah. Yeah, to me, it's a messed up situation where you got more sacks than touchdowns. That's a messed up situation for you as a quarterback.
That's terrible.
That's got to be adjusted. Again, talking about change and staying in the NFL, one of our very own, Davante Adams, signed with the Raiders, left the Packers, signed with the Raiders for a 5-year, $141.25 million a year. He is now the highest paid receiver in the NFL. Now, we were going to franchise him, and I think he was going to get $30 million for this year. But from what I've heard is he was upset at the deal that Aaron Rodgers got because he felt like Aaron Rodgers was selfish and left him no money that he could eat, and they both stay there. So once Aaron Rodgers got his deal, he was like, "You're not franchise tagging me then." And then that's when he ended up demanding a trade, and he went over to the Raiders. But with going to the Raiders, he is now with his old college quarterback, Carr. So Derek Carr. So for him, he's excited about it. But I'm looking at this going, first of all, we all said I didn't like the deal of the fact that Aaron Rodgers they were paying Aaron Rodgers this money. I didn't think he was worth it at his age. And I thought that we were selling off our future for the present. But we'll see how this turns out. But how do you replace him? Of course, we definitely got some money under the salary cap, but how do you replace him? How do you replace a Davante Adams and that connection with what the Packers have now? I don't think this is going to turn out great for the season, but again, we didn't think it was going to turn out great when a new coach came for the Packers. And they end up going 10-3 2 years in a row or something like that. 10 and whatever.
13-3.
13-3, yeah. So we've definitely been wrong. We are not Nostradamus or nothing like that. But how do you guys feel about this quickly?
If I may, Tim.
Go ahead.
Couple things here. There's a lot of rumors about what happened and what didn't happen and what transpired as far as Aaron Rodgers' role in it and so on and so forth. There's some absolutes in here. Number one, absolutely Aaron Rodgers deserved to be the highest paid quarterback in football because he's the best quarterback in football. He win more than anybody else. Now, he hasn't won Super Bowls, but the man that went 13-3, 3 years in a row? That's amazing. Outside of Tom Brady, you're not seeing people win that many games. Even Patrick Mahomes ain't, he losing more than 3 games. So that was a given. The other thing was they had to keep Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay in order to just, keep the franchise viable. Now, the case with Davante Adams, he's the best wide receiver in football, and he should get paid like the best wide receiver in football. And that was his request.
Right.
And he told the Packers, look, just give me my money and we good. And they said, you know what? We're going to give you your money, but we're going to franchise tag you. That's going to give us a little more room to sign some of these other people. And then we can sign you. We would have to, I think it's June 30th is the end date for negotiating contracts that are under the franchise tag. So we have a little more room to deal with you. And what happened was he told the Packers that if y'all franchise tag me, I'm not going to play.
Right.
And that's what happened.
Exactly.
So when they realized that, when they franchise tagged him, he told them, I'm not playing. I don't care how much money y'all say y'all gonna give me. I told y'all not to franchise tag me. I already know what I'm worth. I already done did work here. And y'all playing me like a stepchild, and I'm not having it. So y'all go ahead and franchise tag me, but I'm gonna sit out. So at that point, the Packers didn't have any alternative but to trade him. And he would have sat out the next year too if they would have franchise tagged him again. So the wide receiver from the Pittsburgh Steelers did that one time.
Right.
What is his name? I forgot his name. He did that, and he set out a couple of his running back.
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell. Thank you, Tim. I knew you knew it, man.
Sure.
Why you acting like you don't know everything, man? Stop it. Anyway.
We call
Anyway,
it
yeah, he acting like he don't know everything. Look at his head. You know, it's everything up in that head. Hey, but check this out, though. So that's been done before. He said, you know, I'm not going to play. So at that point, the Packers had no choice but to trade him because they had to get value for him. So that's pretty much what went down. Now, a couple things. I don't think Devontae Adams is going to be the same type of receiver that he was with Carr that he was with Aaron Rodgers, because Carr is very good, but he's not Aaron Rodgers. And when you go to the Raiders, they got a guy on their team that play like Cooper Kupp that get all kinds of receiving yards. I mean, he's just a utility guy, across the middle guy. He do everything. So you're not going to get as many touches as you got in Green Bay. Now, the other thing, how do we replace him? Well, we got a first-round draft pick from the Raiders. This year is heavily laced with great wide receivers coming out of college. And if you look at the Cincinnati Bengals, they had a rookie wide receiver, Chase. He was a rookie. Right. He was a top-notch guy, as good as anybody in the NFL. And then the Cowboys had a rookie. What was his name, Tim? I know you know.
CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb, rookie. Great top-notch wide receivers. So it's not unprecedented for wide receivers to come into the league and be great. And you take those two guys who had outstanding rookie years, Pro Bowl rookie years. They had Dak Prescott passing them the ball, and they had, I forgot Cincinnati's quarterback, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow passing the ball. Just think of how good they would have been if they would have had Aaron Rodgers passing them the ball.
So listen, thanks for tuning in to the #1 faith-based sports talk show in the entire world, Into His Courts. Until next week, have an amazing week. Peace.